Taurus February. So Taurus, you've had a few things going on for a while now. You've had Uranus in your sign. The oh wow planet's been hanging out in your sign for a while. You have a square going on with the planet Pluto now that it moved into the fixed sign of Aquarius. You are a fixed sign, Taurus. So you have this square going on with Pluto, the planet of transformation and change. You have this 90-degree angle, considered an abrasive action in astrology, but we know if it can hit just right, that it can help trim off the things that don't work for you, okay? So you're going to have that square with Pluto for 20 years, so you're just going to have to get used to it. But remember, Pluto does rule other people's money. It rules power. So it's coming up and it's meeting with you. So let's just pay attention to make sure it goes smoothly, okay? You also will have a square with the sun in the sign of Aquarius until February 18th. So things will lighten up for you a little bit after the 18th of the month. Now keep in mind, this is the last month before your ruling planet Venus goes retrograde. And so the retrograde period, the optical illusion that the planet is moving backwards, goes backwards in degrees in astrology. And so on March 1st, we will go into this Venus retrograde period, which will go until April 12th. Now, really and truly, we'll be in its shadow period for a while afterwards. So it's really going to go basically through your birthday, Taurus, about May 16th. Okay, that's when we'll finally have the effect wearing off, which means we are in the shadow period before it also. So this is going to be an interesting reflective time until your birthday. Great for looking at your relationship with money, your relationship with value, your relationship with yourself, especially your impulsive relationship with money. Okay. We know, Taurus, you're great shoppers. You know how to spend. You know how to dress. You always look great. But this is the time to look at your shadow. Okay. And I wrote down, are you sick of your shadow? I think that's a song, Sick of My Shadow. But like, are you sick of the things that kind of are back there? Maybe you're not really looking at them, but you know they have a lot of power and control. So this is going to be a good period to really look at, well, why do I like to spend money so compulsively? Where can I hold on to, just because maybe you're going to trim down your spending, but maybe you're going to amp up and have really a lot of fun with your savings, right? And making it a game. So it's exciting. Okay. So this is a really good breakthrough period for you about your relationship with money, with your relationships in general, because Venus rules all relationships, but especially relationships with women. Okay. So I did a little pre-reading for you, and I know it's Valentine's Day month, and I know most Tauruses, you love Valentine's Day because you love relationships, because you're ruled by Venus. Now, the first card that came up in your pre-reading is the Five of Wands here from the Curious Creatures Tarot deck. And there's a struggle going on. And I really do think this is an internal struggle. This is almost like you and your shadow side kind of really pulling in two different directions, and you're ready to change this. All right, there we go, pre-reading. Now your next couple cards that came up, we had the High Priestess here from the Inner Light Tarot. She's the divine feminine. She looks really at peace. She looks very beautiful, and she looks very calm. All right, versus this tug of war that's going on next to her. All right, so finding that inner peace. Taurus, I mean, a healthy Taurus, you know, I'm always saying how I wish I was a Taurus. I really do. But they have like such an earthy vibe to them in some ways, because you represent Mother Earth. But then you have all these beautiful things, like all the jewels and stones that the earth has, right? So this is you, Taurus. And there you are as the High Priestess, just sitting there in this peaceful calm, which I think you really do value. Now, your next card is the Ten of Wands. And she's doing like this bend, but she's got a lot of wands that she's carrying. Okay. She's like almost ready, like she's going to put down some of these burdens. So it almost looks to me like this Five of Wands. It's almost like somebody won. Somebody's got all the wands now and now putting it down. Okay. So there's some things, this internal struggle. It's almost like you're going to make peace with yourself. We also have the Two of Emotions, which also is like the reflection of you. So I really do think that you're just really getting to know yourself. And then when you know yourself, how much better that you can be in relationship with others, especially as we're in a Valentine's Day month. Okay, let's pull a few more cards. Let's see what else you need to know here, Taurus. So we know that the moon will be in the sign of Virgo on Valentine's Day. And we know that on the 15th, the moon's going to move into Libra early in the morning. And remember, Libra is like your sister sign because it's ruled by Venus also. And it's a symbol of relationships, Libra. So I would recommend to you, just like I was recommending to Aries, that Saturday, the 15th of February is a fantastic day for you to begin any kind of Valentine's Day celebration, okay? And if you're not in a relationship and that's not what you do, it's still a really great time to be really good to yourself, okay? All right, let's see what we've got going on here. I love these cards. They're so all these like pinks, and now I'm just going to put one of these tattoo tarots in, mix it up a little bit. All right, let's see what we need to know here. Here's the Tower card. This is ruled by Uranus. And remember, Uranus has been in your sign, I think it's been over a year. So there's a lot of unexpected things when Uranus is in your sign. And this is like things kind of falling apart. And we know it's kind of happening under this Five of Wands. And there are some things that just kind of need to fall apart. And I think it's just this internal struggle with yourself. It's like you're expecting so much from yourself. I see progress. I see some progress being made about that. Let's see what your next card is. Here's the Devil card. What an interesting version of the Devil. Interesting that she's seated in the same position as the High Priestess, who we have this card underneath. So this is about who's got the power, who's in control. Interesting, it's a snake when we're going into the year of the snake, this Chinese New Year, which is the beginning of February. So the Devil card is here, and it wants us it really feels like, look at that. It feels like the light side, the shadow side, the yin, the yang, the same situation, okay? Really, it's time to take a look at how you're talking to yourself, how you're treating yourself, how you're showing up in relationships, like, because who you're connecting with. Because if you're connecting with some negative viewpoint of yourself, then you're going to keep connecting with people who have a negative viewpoint of you, right? It's kind of like, almost like you're just going to repeat it. It's like you're teaching people how to treat you. So this is your important time to just kind of look at and take responsibility for some of those shadow sides of your personality. I mean, we all have them, and we can become more aware of them. And that's what this is asking you to do, is just look at it, but almost like not beating yourself up. Here's the Seven of Inspiration. I thought it said 2 at first. And so there's like the darkness is being pushed away, which is interesting because it comes in right next to the Devil, which has like a very dark background. So that's being pushed away, and the light is being let in. Coming in right underneath that 10 of Wands, where she's putting, down the burden. So I see you making like really great progress. Oh, the Empress shows up here at the end. She is you. She's a Taurus card, and she's pregnant with possibility. And so there's like a new version of you showing up, and it's a more true version because this is a Taurus card. All right. So there was some misinformation that like you absorbed somewhere along the line about yourself that's not true. You've got some internal fight going on with yourself. And this is the month where you're really going to start to like yourself a little bit more and not feel so like shameful about like the broken parts, because it looks to me like you're really working at mending those. And I see a lot of progress made, and I see a lot of forward energy. Okay. Even though we're in that Mars retrograde right now, so things are kind of slowly moving, but we can go through a lot of deep emotion right now and kind of purge it. Remember, as we talked about in the month ahead, if you haven't listened to the full month of February, go back and listen to it, talking about how it's a month of cleaning, of purging. And so I see you purging out a lot of old stuff and like really showing up in a bright way as you move into your Venus retrograde. So I think you're going to really benefit from that time. I think you're going to actually feel pretty good during that time, and you're going to do a lot of releasing and clearing up. Okay. All right. Now let's go week by week. Let's see what you need to know here. We're going to use these little golden Art Nouveaux that are so cute and see what you need to know these 4 weeks. In February, week 1, we have the 5 of Pentacles. This is like the poor me, poverty mentality card. We're talking about, your self-value and your relationship with money and all of those things. So this shows up very human, showing up underneath the tower. And, when Uranus is in your sign, Taurus, Uranus can bring in, like, all of a sudden a check could come in the mail. It's like, yes. But then all of a sudden a tax bill could show up. Okay. So it looks like the first week, maybe there's a little bit of unexpected things, and we move through it. Week 2, we have the 9 of Wands. So he's kind of overseeing a lot. There's a lot of overstimulation. Okay. And this is coming in underneath that Devil card. A lot to look at, a lot to take in, a lot to accept about ourselves, a lot of things that we want to know that we're willing to look at and change. Week 3, we have the 3 of Cups. So it looks like things get lighter. There's a nice celebration going on here. And week 4, we have the 7 of Swords, and he's kind of sneaking off. All right, sneaking away. So let me just get a clarifying card for that, because I wasn't sure if that was saying. Let me just pull one. Hold on, let me see what that is. Okay. Yeah, I was kind of getting this, like, make sure your valuables are very well locked up, and just be aware of, like, who's in your space. Okay. Just like if you have a party or something like that, or you go to a party, just don't, like, leave. It kind of has, like, energy of, like, leaving your wallet somewhere, or somebody taking a piece of jewelry from you. Okay. So just be a little bit aware of that this month in general, especially towards the end of the month. I don't think it's like any major deal. I just think it's, let me see. I think it's a stone. It's like it's a piece of jewelry from an old relationship. Okay, so just make sure that, just watch your stuff. Make sure your stuff's put away properly. It's so weird. It just says, like, both of these women with, like, their head veiled. Like, they don't want to, like, all the way be seen. This is like almost like could almost be like lending a friend a piece of jewelry and not getting it back. Okay, there's something about that in week 4. So maybe don't go, if somebody has to borrow something, maybe think twice about it. And if you think something's missing, looks like it was a house guest. Okay, that's week 4. All right, now let's give you some dates. What we're going to do, let's do this. Let's move these to the side so we can use this whole calendar here and throw the dice on the whole calendar. Okay, great. So here is your dice, and then we'll do the charms. So you got the sun in Aquarius in the 10th house. All right, well, we know the sun will be in Aquarius most of the month. So this looks like it's a power time for you, especially with 10th house related themes. 10th house is career, long-term success, your reputation, it's like antiques. I keep getting that ring. Make sure that if it's like a grandmother's or an antique ring, make sure it's put away. Don't go lending people family heirlooms, stuff like that. Okay. So Sun, Aquarius, 10th house. You could have really good work possibilities this month. Could be things out of the blue. Could be a lot of networking. Right. Now let's put that up at the top. Let's throw some charms on this calendar. I'm kind of hoping that you get like a ring in here, because I kept getting a message about some antique ring. Okay. Oh, this just like flipped. It's the letter T, letter O. I've got an elephant up here at the top. Also have, what is that? A little bird. Okay, we have this one. I think it's St. Christopher, be my guide, about traveling and being safe. We've got letter R up here, letter A, Torah, letter D, Dora, letter U over to the side with a black stone. I don't know if that's like onyx or something. Okay, so the R was actually still in January. Looks like maybe the 29th of January. The St. Christopher is on the 31st of January. We've got the Tree of Life here on the 3rd. The letter A on the 6th. Oat. The word oat. Okay, we've got I think that's called an ankh. That's symbol for protection. We have a little whisk here on the 9th, like you're baking a cake. On the 10th, we have a dragon. On the 11th, the letter D. On the 14th, on Valentine's Day, we have some prayer hands, okay? So maybe there's a loved one on the other side, some kind of connection to someone that you love. On the 15th, you have a unicorn, which is really cool. So unicorn, this mythological creature, right? This, okay, with a unicorn on the 15th, it's just kind of fun because that's the day I kept telling you to celebrate Valentine's Day. And like a unicorn just seems like so, I don't know, rainbows and happiness to me. Okay, the 16th, you have the letter I and a battleship. And on the 17th, well, I guess technically you have a ring because you have this circular thing. This is President's Day. You have the letter Z, the letter J, and the T was on there too. So if that's anybody's initials, ZJT. Okay, we have the 18th. We have a castle. The 19th, a horse. We have a lot of stuff going on here on the 20th. The letter G, the blank, little postcard, and a little unlock button. It's a lot of activity on the 20th for you. More activity on the 28th, another circle, and the letter I. Okay, so, and another letter I down here, little spoon, and a little dragonfly. All right, so if you see anything, I see the word rag. I see, what else have I got? Not too many things. Okay. Oh, I see my own initials, RAO. All right. All right. So this is what we have here for February. So let me give you some dates off of the dice. So you rolled the sun, and the sun rules the sign Leo. And we know we have the moon moving into the sign of Leo starting on February 10th. That's where you had the dragon. At 12:01 p.m. through Tuesday the 11th, through Wednesday the 12th, as we have the full moon in Leo at 8:53 a.m. And then it will continue in the sign of Leo until 8:07 p.m. on Wednesday the 12th. Now, we also rolled Aquarius and Capricorn. So let's see. We know those signs are right next to each other. The moon moves into the sign of Capricorn on Saturday, February 22nd, 6:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, through the 23rd when Mars goes direct, through the 24th, the 25th. Then we go into Aquarius, the 26th, the 27th. We have the let's see. We're in Aquarius until 3:46 a.m. on the 27th, right before the new moon happens in Pisces. All right. These are power times for you. Have a fabulous month.